We'll see. A final pick from Old But
Kind of
Gold.
like a Pugna here, final pick. It's all looking completely different. Right?
Hey, this is the first time we've got to see our boy
friends.
Ursa since the updates, and we talked a lot about it between Ursa and Lifestealer having these extra buffs. What do we expect to see here with Ursa? Because this is the first time in our tournament that we've been able to see it on camera.
Oh, we're confirming who's on what. So G's on the Ursa.
Yeah, so I mean, it
Being
is that
Vincex on
active
Pango.
hero. It's what I expected Illidan to be the one that wanted to be on the Deucer, and yeah, he's going to be sort of the hard farming, hard carry. But I'm not too sure about the Ursa here. They do have catch with the Ursa, like the shackles and the hex obviously from the shaman, but you're running something like an Ursa and a Clockwork, and that can sometimes go a bit backward because the clock's getting in, popping cogs out, it's pushing the Ursa away from the target, he's having to cut through the cogs and get to it. It just feels a little bit off throwing an Ursa in like that.
Yeah, and I think we're going to make some predictions. I'll go first this time since I crushed you yesterday. I
Go
figure
for it.
it would
Yeah.
only be fair.
Give us a chance.
I want to
today.
give you a fighting chance to, if you want to not agree. But the real deal, I like the draft. I like that it's a little bit more straightforward. I don't know what their long game looks like, if this is going to be a plan where they just want to get this game extended out and not make mistakes, if they want to play very conservatively. But have we... The Terrorblade is like...
Terrorblade's fine.
I think it's okay for Excalibur.
And this, I mean, it's not like Ursa's great against Terrorblade because
I know.
high
I mean,
armor. So it's,
I
and you made a great point about the Clockwork issue too for Ursa specifically, how that could also be anti-synergy. I mean, you trap somebody in the cog though with Ursa inside. I mean, that's fun, sure, but
I think that's the plan, right?
I mean, I guess so, but then so you're relying on your Ursa to have a blink to follow up.
But then you even have Shadow Demon with his Purge. That's going to be an issue for Ursa.
Yeah,
give me a choice.
I'm going the real deal. Yeah,
I mean, this Ursa feels like a bad pick, so I've got to go with the real deal as well.
All right, let's get into the game. Or you can just look at me funny, whatever, Kyle.
Well, we get a cue to talk, and we weren't allowed to talk yet when you said we should talk. So hereby we are here, and we are ready for our first best one of the tournament actually. And the whole panel thinks, Kyle, that the Shadow Demon off lane is going to be victorious, and the Ursa will not be victorious. I am looking forward to hearing your thoughts on the matter as we head into this. It's not an elimination match, but it is a lower bracket match. And if you are curious how that works, you can find it online. There's a lot of information about this new-ish format where the first 2 rounds of upper bracket and lower bracket basically come into the same pool and have like playoffs, and everybody plays 3 series guaranteed.
I think I might disagree with the panel.
With the panel, you're thinking the Ursa's got it.
I do. I think that Shadow Demon TB. It's just a tough matchup against Brew, especially off-lane Brew, because you get the AoE Dispel on all the illusions. It means that Terrorblade's timing to really peak is going to be so much later than the Deuce's, talking like 3rd, 4th item perhaps. And while Ursa is a bit unconventional, I'm pretty sure he's going to absolutely dominate this Pangolier mid. And the hero in general is just a lot stronger than people give it credit for right now. Just too much move speed, really, on the hero.
And all he needs, he doesn't need to carry late game. He needs to buy time until Medusa can carry late game.
And I don't like that last pick Jakiro either. Into clock, like we talked about this relationship previously, you can't cast any spells underneath Battery Assault. And in addition, you have that same problem of no real frontliner. Sure, you have a Tiny that can Blink Initiate, but their sustained damage output on the Dire side is very limited and cooldown dependent.
I think that we've had, that Illidan can be very happy because the real deal kind of did them a favor by taking that Illidan, the Terrorblade away from him. We saw him basically, well, he played every single game on that hero yesterday in a 3-game series. Sure, successful ones. Okay, Battery Assault versus Jakiro. He has to be careful though. Jerry is close by and the Battery Assault is about to run out, so he will have to run. The Jewel Breath will slow him down actually. Excalibur is getting thrown right back into his claws, and that is first blood. I mean, it's nice, but you gotta actually, you know, be able to be closer to your own tower.
Keep in mind, though, they use meta for that, and once it fades, the staying power of the Radiant Tri-Lane is going to be much stronger. So I agree, but we'll see. You can already see middle. Ursa's already doubling up the CS and looking actually to chase him through the river. This is what Ursa can do to you, just force you out of lane if you ever are not within tower range.
Don't Terrorblades normally get meta for the first couple of 2 waves? I think you get it, and just to you know, just to get your lead.
Yeah, for sure. And if they can maintain this advantage, it'll be great for them. But it's going to require a couple more tossbacks. I think that's going to be key. And the level 3 is really where I think this Radiant tri-lane will peak, because all of their spells just... level 2 Battery Assault specifically means that now the clock can just solo Miposhka's Jakiro.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a little support from these ranged heroes. Rost, of course, with 79 base damage. Quite nice. And looking forward into the mid-game, later-game team fights, I just always favor the squad that's got an easier time taking objectives and initiating these mid-game team fights. And I don't really know how you can test a Brew, a clock, and then Rost awards dropped on your tower. There's really just not much you can do to stop this pressure.
As the push on the side of the real deal comes from the Terrorblade and Liquid Fire?
They swapped the... Well, yeah, but Jakiro's a hard support in this game, so he's not going to come online. In fact, most of the time, these support Jakiros don't even skill their Liquid Fire. And they've moved TB to top, but he has no meta, and he's a level behind BZZ. I don't know if this is the play you want to be making here. He's going to lose this top lane very hard.
Were they imagining they could dodge the potential aggressive tri-lane coming out from Old But Gold? Because, I mean, that double damage room for Winstrike won't actually do anything for him, and he's going for the deny to Roche or jump to the side. Nice. Smooth. He will, he has to go to the courier. I think the courier's gonna bring him some regen. Still a tri-lane here. They're gonna leave Terrorblade by himself for the moment and seeing if they can slow down Illidan. This
is a super strong tri-lane now because the Shadow Demon had that level advantage, and it's just a very natural power hero in this sort of lane. Easy setup.
Plan all along?
Perhaps, but the sacrifice is going to be up top. The TB is going to be very pressured. So.
Miposhka getting shackled, but Jerry is walking forward, getting the toss going, and everybody in the cogs there. It's going to be Vanscore with the Medusa that dies first. It's all three heroes on the side of Old But Gold. That tri-lane just evaporated.
These Qs from the Jakiro are averaging like 2.4 heroes hit per. And then when you put all 3 people in a friendly cogs, it is troublesome. And Ping Winstrike looks like he should go down here, and he shall.
He will. At least a kill on the board for Old But Gold.
Yep.
Turn that donut into a pretzel. Sorry.
All right. So
I just throw some AC in there, you know, good memories.
Yeah, this is a interesting spot because usually the team that wins the tri-lane wins the game, but even though they get that triple kill, they're now feeding away a couple more, and they're losing both solo lanes. So.
We are going to see Shadow Demon drop, though. There's a bit of a skirmish going on that bottom lane that we missed. But, yeah, that is Shaklo, the offlaner, the core offlaner, main offlaner, down.
It's a big kill.
Yeah, it is. And I'm wondering, there's this aggressive tri-lane, and we've been taught that aggressive tri-lanes are only successful if you actively dominate the enemy squad, which, to be fair, they did earlier, and they might be able to get another kill here on Vanscore. They will indeed.
This is actually fine for the Radiant side. You're cool trading kills on supports. It's all about the creep wave. As an aggro tri-lane, it's domination usually just means keeping the lane right about here, just in front of your tower so that you can control the lane. But Jerry's going to get picked off on the side. Looks like he's got the wand and the toss back. Medusa's in trouble with the disrupt.
The disrupt, Illidan actually creating some of his own illusions, already 2 stacks of the shadow poison. Jerry makes it out alive, and a bit of harassment coming out on Illidan himself.
Yeah, the concern is going to be when Brew hits 6, though, because Illidan, the Excalibur Terrorblade, you will feed to a Brewmaster that catches you with ult up, and that's probably going to be what the next place we'll find action is. Jakiro's mid harassing it, but I don't know if that's going to be that effective.
He's basically him being there. Kind of means that bottom lane it turns into 2-for-2. It means that Shadow Shaman can rotate, and he actually rotated mid, going for that Pangolier. The Shackle is there. He already tried to jump away. One more shield crash, but I don't think that will save his life. He'll try, but there's too much harass coming out, and that's a great rotation from Valor, made possible by the Jakiro leaving bot lane as well.
Yep. And it's super easy to play clock in this sort of scenario. Illidan's free to farm because there's no way for a stun toss back from Jerry to get through a defensive positioning from Vanscore. And you can see he's just covering an angle. Illidan plays to that side, so he's always able to cogs back if there is aggression sniffed out. So there really isn't much you can do to kill the Dusa. You can just try your best to out CS, which they are doing. but I feel like you might need a bit more just because of how much trouble your Terrorblade's going to be in. You can see he went to Shrine. He'll just be jungling now for probably the rest of this early game.
Can't lane against that Brewmaster until that Brewmaster starts rotating.
Yeah, but you don't rotate if you're Brew.
No?
Nah. You just chill up here, get farmed. I would love to see him get a Midas, actually. This is something I saw, something Moo did, I remember back in the days when I was still playing. He rushed a Radiance in this sort of scenario where he was just left alone on an island. Get to Radiance like 15, 16 minutes, all of a sudden you're a massive core for the entire game.
Bye, Jerry.
Adios, amigo. And they give it to Illidan again. Really good job. He's getting those last hits on the kills.
Oh, Winstrike, he went top, forces out the split on BCZ, and he's actually
You gotta be careful
chasing
here,
him
though.
for the Yules with that Spirit Panda. Air Panda? It's not really a Panda, I guess it's more a Bruling. Oh, they're fairly even, as this game is 5-5. Only 1k gold difference. In terms of momentum, though, it looks like even with this skill, perhaps if ReaL can get this skill, Ultimate Gold is still pretty comfortable because these rotations mean that the rest of the lanes are all going the way of Ultimate Gold. Shacklo, he'll pop the salve and actually might just have saved his own life with that. One tick was enough.
This is good. This is really good. Ursa needs to snowball a bit harder than this. I haven't seen this hero played too much, but you know, when it comes down to it, the earlier you get the blink, the earlier you can make plays. And like the panel was talking about, it is a tough game for Ursa. It's a bit surprising they last pick it. I think it's mostly for the lane dominance, but he really didn't crush like you might have expected him to. No. Here comes a tossback. You just gave it to him, G.
Oh, he has to be careful there, but there's Miposhka as well. The slow is there. 2 stacks of Shadow Poison. That's a lot of harassment with the three drone. Yeah, they actually force out his ult, which obviously is a short cooldown, but you know, it's
yeah, this
you
is.
can tell he's on edge.
I think you're still fine with this if you're the real deal, because your Terrorblade, like, he hasn't been pressured. I expected somebody to, like, just walk at him in the jungle, force rotations, and that's the kind of way a support like this Clockwork could actually protect his brew by just, even in the enemy jungle, if he charges the Terrorblade, you force response, and all of a sudden you can't have these 3 heroes rotating towards top. You probably expect a TP in a second.
Swashbuckle forward, the silence is there, his split is on cooldown, all he can do is try to run. He cannot teleport out, that's on cooldown. Running is literally his only option, and there is no way that he will run away from this.
I'd like to see him played around more. Like, you see a teleport coming from the Rasta, but it's just too late. That ward as well is going to be immediately dewarded because they knew he was walking in with one. He leaves without. He's standing right on top of a ward. 2, actually. The Dire side playing around this top lane.
I was expecting for the type of game plan for gold, I was thinking, okay, that Brewmaster, if you say that he's not going to leave lane, then surely Shadow Shaman is going to get level 6 and they'll take that tower fairly fast so they can get some more control there. But the Shadow Shaman is quite under-leveled. I say that, and I know that the supports on the other side are also still level 4, but that does kind of slow down the pressure that they can apply on the top lane.
And I don't like that Van score is like still bottom. He's been sitting there for the entire game. It was nice at first, but once the tiny of Jerry starts to move around, you can feel free to follow that, because that actually is what secures your safe lane. You make space in other areas, apply pressure, but he's just been sitting down here 2 versus 0 for the last 3 minutes as his Brewmaster is really not doing anything wrong. You want to apply pressure and stick in this lane, but his supports have to be around him preemptively.
Yeah. Avalanche, some runes being stolen. Turns in for 2-2 in the runes, though. I guess that one of the things for Ultimate Gold as well, both of their supports have got like this big impact level 6 ultimate. If you're tiny, you're already done. Like, you don't need your level 6. Jakiro would be nice, but you don't necessarily need your level 6. And it's showing that is a big difference between the 2 lineups right now.
And this mid tower is just, like, they're just letting it die. They get the kill on Miposhka, sure, but like,
there's a split used for that as well.
Yeah, but Excalibur popped meta like 40 seconds ago. It's going to fade soon, and it was free. Like, no, how do you let the mid tower just die? Illidan's got to be willing to TP there to you just snake it out, and all of a sudden TP's forced to flee. Like, they can't dive a Medusa under tower. Really inefficient. He's just been sitting in safe lane. You got to get involved, defend objectives. They pop split for top, but Deeping check quickly going to respond, ensure that tower doesn't die for free.
It looks like still a very even game though, but the way that we're seeing it is that Ultimate Gold is not really able to play the way they should.
It's just the movements are just slow. Like, again, Illidan, if he TP's mid, he's going to defend that tower and then be exactly where he is now, farming around that top shrine. And it's just because at a certain point, the safe lane is no longer where you want to be. Because you farm faster, just aggressively pushing lanes versus keeping wave control just in front of your tower because you're afraid. And his TP now gives the dire side of the real deal free movement to just head towards bottom because they know the carry is no longer going to be able to respond. No split either. He will have a Vlad's finished soon.
I guess both teams are or should be fine waiting till late game before they do more though, as in Old But Gold will probably not be too worried just yet. What we do see though is pressure coming out from the real deal. They are attempting to take out those outer towers. They are already obviously taken middle, now they're on bot lane trying to take that one away from Old But Gold as well.
And they're going to succeed. You can see another tower kill for Excalibur. Like, this is ideal for your Terrorblade. He's almost that #1 net worth, and BZZ, you're here, but Rasta, you're a bit out of position. You gotta be careful here. There's no split. They know there's no split. I mean, this is probably gonna end up as a deny. And you can see like all 5 heroes of Old But Gold are in this area, but like they're not getting anything done.
They know their ward got dewarded, so it's like they know that there is vision on the side.
Yeah, and
of the real
don't tell me
deal
you're gonna walk in place another one. You better.
Gets the cogs out, but again, not yet level 6. You'd actually maybe want to give them a little bit of space so they have maybe a lane for themselves or at least get something.
Look at the map control that the dire side had. Here I am saying that Old But Gold's going to have this massive mid-game advantage. G will take out the 5 position Jakiro, but look at the map. Like 70% of it is just solely in the possession of the dire squad. And I don't think that they've earned it, really. It was kind of just handed to them. This bottom lane was abandoned a bit late, and because of that, you now have Excalibur with just 0 pressure. Just been farming this entire game. Once Brew was level 5, he just left, and he's fine with this. This is great for your TB. He's got an illusion scouting on the shrine to prevent TPs. You're going to find another kill on Shadow. That's nice.
I mean, that is a 3-position Shadow Demon. That's something we shouldn't underestimate, because later on in the game, sure, we saw him dominate in the offlane earlier, but later on he will do about the same thing as a support Shadow Demon. So maybe there the real deal comes falls short with a bit of a lesser core, if you will. But for now, they're doing really well. They are in control. They have the map control. Let's see if they can keep that up, though, as it looks like Old But Gold wants to get some more kills here. The Shekels there on Jerry. He gets a toss out. Still getting gone up by G, though, and G will find that kill eventually. Winstrike, in the meantime, he's just rolling around, going for those supports, finds the kill on the Shadow Demon. The split from BZZ, Excalibur, that's a big target to go for. And with that Haste Rune as well. Actually, the Haste Rune got denied there in the midst of it from the looks of it.
Oh, great peeling. This is the problem with Ursa. You just can't do anything.
You cannot. BZZ is losing some of his Brewlings, but he'll be fine. He's on the right side of the fight. BZZ, can he actually run from this? No, I don't think he can. He'll just buy some time for his team to... Actually, they were not even there anymore.
And Vanscore's not even in this engagement. Clock is arguably they first to this hero. It's incredibly powerful at this stage of the game, and the reason he can't be there is because it's 14-40 in this game, and he just hit level 6.
Yeah, the only reason he got it is because he didn't come.
Exactly, and he should have, but he needed to do that far earlier.
Yeah.
That's the sort of time. This all goes back, you know, Dota's a game of building. Things and advantages develop over time, and mistakes early on lead to these sorts of scenarios. If Dusa TP's middle around that 7 to 8 minute mark, leaves Clock the bottom lane, you won't have this problem. Instead, Vanscore just has no game whatsoever because he was just holding the hand of Illidan for nearly this entire game.
They know Winstrike just used his Rolling Thunder, and they're going to try to abuse that fact. Nice avalanche from Jerry, though, holding everybody at bay for the moment. Toss up to the high ground as well. Jerry with the saves.
His toss game is on point right now. Regular
Aragorn. Really is. That was 5 heroes of Old But Gold there, and they couldn't do anything.
Look at this. Jakiro's just still farming. Excalibur's like, all right, guys, no, my meta's down. I guess I'll just keep farming this this Radiant jungle. There's no vision up from the enemy side. This is it's just like an easy game.
It feels a little sloppy from Old But Gold.
They just don't. They seem discombobulated. They don't really know. They don't have a clear objective at the moment. They don't really know what they're doing. Once again, you see 5 heroes all clumped up together, but it's so inefficient that they're just slowly bleeding resources as the real deal consistently builds more and more of an advantage in this game. And now G's going to go for a Midas, but this goes back to, again, the Brew item choice, where I'd be totally fine with the way this game he was being played by him. But he's got a Vlad, so he feels all this pressure. Like, I want to just keep running into enemies, forcing team fights.
Yep.
But the peel from the real deal, the tossbacks, the Purge from Shadow Demon, the Disruption, they have so many ways to bait out these cooldowns, notably Ursa's and Rage. And then after that, you just kill him and CC him to death.
On the bright side, for Orbit Gold, they got a Medusa. They have late game. They got wards to take down towers, even though they haven't only gotten one so far. G, so be careful here. Hookshot coming in to try and help him as well. There's 5 heroes of the real duel here, and I think they are looking to seal this fight. Nice ice bath into Macropire. 2 kills already, and I'm pretty sure that's going to turn into 3. Perhaps if BCC is, yeah, he's not. I mean, his Panda will try to run, but
Got no blink, though.
actually, he's wasting a lot of time. Look at all these people chasing down this little Panda man. But there is really no hope for him. In the meantime, though, we did have Medusa finally taking that mid tower down. So Illidan making use of that space created. And still, though,
kind of crazy. We talk a lot about space, right? But
yeah.
That mid tower, even though they lose so many heroes, the gold advantage actually moved towards Old But Gold because kills just don't mean anything anymore, which is something that I kind of want to see changed in the future, just because it feels like creep waves still have far too much value, and you're just so de-incentivized to play the game actively. Deaths don't matter. It's all about just sacrificing your body for creeps.
Well, if deaths don't matter, as, well, Valor, again, you don't matter. Advanced score, I don't think you matter as well, Pim Vincheck. You don't matter. But actually, this might matter, because he might live.
No way.
Hey, he's fine. Nice ice bath as well. But for this game, think 30 minutes ahead. Terrorblade versus Medusa. You got an Ursa and a Pango as the cores.
I mean, you're certainly moving towards the real deal as this game progresses. I also love the itemization from Ping Vincheck. This is his hero. He is the Pango player.
Yes.
And Diffusal in this game is super sick because Clock and Ursa, you swashbuckle, you're burning 200 mana, right? These guys don't have mana pools. And even Brew could have struggles. If he gets a clap off and then gets swashbuckled, he'll have nothing left to cast Split. And as you said, when you do it to Adusa, you're burning mana. That's better than burning HP. It's really strong here. And again, more kiting power.
Well, all the more pressure because of that on Old But Gold. If they don't have late game, which I think at the moment their only thought can be, like, that's why we see a Midas built by the Ursas. Like, they got to go all in for that later portion of the game. And maybe hope that they can outplay the real deal, seeing if they make some mistakes here and there. As we know that both these teams are not without their flaws. Van score will drop here, but if real deal just, you know, is thinking, this game's going pretty well, let's just continue pushing. What is Old But Gold going to do about it?
I don't know. I'm so just disappointed in specifically the way Illidan's played this game, because he missed his Ancient stack, went to push one wave top, now he's run back to the jungle, now he's going to run back top, where he could have just been continuously pressuring that lane. He's not even safe because of this.
You weren't happy
the
with him
scan is in
either.
the dire jungle. Like, you're not protecting your Medusa, who's now caught up top, isolated. Like, what's happening?
That is actually really bad. That is, she tries
now they're
for the ult, the hot, that maybe this could save him. Vanscore throwing his body at the front line. In the meantime, Medusa is still the main focus for Jerry and will still fall. And Real Deal claims 3.
And Brew isn't there because I believe Split might actually still be on cooldown even.
It's up.
It's up now. Okay, but what? How are you going to take this fight?
He might be forced to use it too.
And he's going to be out of mana. Yep.
He did. He has a soul ring. No, he didn't.
Yeah. I mean, credit to the Real Deal. I after watching it play out, I do like the way they drafted. They've made the right decisions. They've played this game properly. It just, to me, feels like you'd... there's this famous chess game where this guy was going up against, like, the Tsar of Russia, right?
Okay.
So you couldn't beat him, because then you'd pause it, it'd be bad.
He'd kill you.
So he moved a pawn, like, 8 moves in a row. Like, just move pawns to start the game, which is terrible, okay?
Yeah.
And it makes it real easy for the other player to exploit your positioning and beat you. And that's what it feels like. That's what's happening here.
They just moved their pawns?
Yeah, they didn't... They played like a bunch of pawns, honestly. Because this game's toast.
This ice bath is every time on point, and the clockwork is actually helping with Pushka place them in the perfect position. It does turn into a trade, and perhaps ODPixel can take someone off the back of that. That would be the second support to take down this fight. But it does mean that in the top lane, we have got Shaklo just pushing for free, and perhaps... Nah, this is going to be... it should be the end of this engagement.
Yeah,
but bottom lane is still getting pushed out.
The thing, again, so they lost 2 heroes there, but their gold advantage increased because TB was farming bottom with illusions the entire time. He actually clears the tower. Well played by Excalibur. This is something I did not see Illidan do in any of his 3 Terrorblade games the other day. And I'm questioning how the hell he actually has so much MMR after watching this. Like, I don't know if CIS pubs are easy or something or what, but this is just this is very upsetting because I have a lot of faith in these players, and I think that they should have a future. You know, G was the one that knocked me out of TI5, and it's like they're old for sure, but where's the gold, Chiefs? Where is the gold? They blow those Brew Split, and this is a great play by ReaL DeaL. Again, they know how to play this game. Brew Split's down, we'll walk into Roche. You want to come fight us with that cooldown? Good luck.
But
He's got to fight us, though.
The thing that the movement and positioning and the control that we're seeing from this is still coming forth out of how the first 10 minutes were played.
Yes, 100%. And don't tell me they're going to try and take this fight anyway. Ross has already been killed off by Jerry. Well played. He initiates on the right target. And they're actually going to try and invade the pit. But great disrupt by Shaklo into the ice pad.
I mean,
beautiful.
Jumps forward for BCZ, but the Sunder is there instantly. And BCZ, can he get a split off? No, he cannot. Hook shot in. Van score. Maybe he can make something happen. No, Dire gets all, and Van score drops 4 dead in that fight. Somewhere there, Illidan dropped as well. GG.
Yeah, I'd be tilted too.
23 minutes.
I'd be tilted too.
That's a best of 1, by the way. I know that ODPixel is not eliminated, but at the moment, I'm not sure who they will be able to beat in this competition, because at the moment, they look like the weakest team here.
Yeah, there's just no synergy. There doesn't seem to be direction in the way they're playing the game. A lot of their decisions don't make sense. And if you're going to play Dota, you know, at this level, you know, whether you're tier 1, tier 3, doesn't matter. The game's hard.
Yeah.